Peace, y'all. Give me 1 second.
Right now, yeah, let Lucifer,
Depot on the beat.
I couldn't believe it, even when out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood. Nigga, we fighting demons. Been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now you get to watch me get it up out of the mud. I couldn't believe it, even when I was out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood. Nigga, we fighting demons. I've been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now y'all get to watch me get it up out of the mud.
Now y'all get to see me without a mug. Everything that I do gon' be out of love. And I'm tired of these trials and these tribulations. And I'm sick of my name while we getting drugged. But no, I ain't budge. All of this money and you not pursuing it. All of this time you don't know what to do with it. Counterproductive and counterintuitive. Why you be acting like you all brand new to it? Straight from the gutter, boy, we getting sewer. As soon as we get it, you know we gon' move it quick. All of this money I made from the block. Get out the game and invest it in stock. Bought me a whip, get the rest of it up. When you saving no stuff, man, it messes them up. We gon' be fine, but we stay on our grind. All of my niggas is stepping it up, and they foot on our neck and no letting it up. We level the playing field, even the battle. My son is a scientist, he's splitting atoms. Need us more geniuses, I know we got them. I know it's in us, I'm bringing it out. I know ain't perfect, I'm making them model on Capitol Hill, and I'm bringing them houses. The path that I'm on should nobody follow.
I couldn't believe it, even when out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood. Nigga, we fighting demons. Been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now you get to watch me get it up out of the mud. I couldn't believe it, even when I was out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood. Nigga, we fighting demons. I've been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now y'all get to watch me get it up out of the mud.
We fought hard on this road this longer. Fighting each other won't make us no stronger. Honey, this nigga's been fighting this hunger. I'm at my worst and ain't getting no wronger. No change of silence, I'm making it through. I flip a chair or a table or two. They won't believe what I'm able to do. I'm making these moves, but this a new movement. My dog at the gate and all praises Anubis. I'm getting too lit in my boat pack with doobies. On my way up and I break through your roofing. Shot for the moon and it made me a star. Got so much drive I can make it tomorrow. Can't promise a day that I make it tomorrow. Every dime that we make is to pay what we borrow. It's to pay what we borrow.
All right, power to the dark side, family. Power to the dark side. What's going on? I see the Sith Lord was in the building. Definitely, I gotta step my punctuation up. I'm definitely planning on doing that. Stepping my punctuation up. But today, family, what we will be getting into is Memorandum 46. That's National Security Memorandum 46. Right? And so, we're not going to waste much time with this at all. Shout out Domo. Domo is in the building. Shout out to the Political Plug. And for those who don't know, the Political Plug is on the Chop Up Show. The link is in the description to the Chop Up Show. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. Make sure y'all go like, subscribe. Great content. So, let's see here. Yeah, we definitely gonna get this in. All right. So, right, as you can see, this document is Exhibit 10 of the U.S. Supreme Court case number .00-9587. This is National Security Council Memorandum 46, as I stated earlier, right? This was sent out March 17th, 1978. This is a presidential review of Memorandum NSCM 46, right? To the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, the Director of the Central Intelligence. The subject, Black Africa and the U.S. Black Movement, right? And understand when we look at this, just starting out, the Black Movement, it's going to be some key elements that we're going to look at. We're going to look at the direction of the Black Movement, how they deemed it was put it like this: the trend of the Black Movement to them, according to this letter, is they like the trend that it's headed in, right? And so let's just go ahead and get right into it. And so what happens, the president has directed the comprehensive review be made developments in Black Africa from the point of view of their possible impacts on the Black movement in the United States. The review should consider long-term tendencies of social and political developments and the degree to which they are consistent with or contradict the U.S. interests. 2. Proposals for durable contacts between radical African leaders and leftist leaders of the U.S. Black community. 3. Appropriate steps to be taken inside and outside of the country in order to inhibit any pressure by radical African leaders and organizations on the U.S. Black community for the latter to exert influence on the policies of the administration toward Africa. Right? And so, mind you, this letter is sent out during the time of the apartheid, right? So this is the time during the apartheid in South Africa. At this time, we have a strong movement that's going on in the United States, and we are starting to kind of link up with the brothers in the struggle in South Africa, right? And one of the things that they were looking at is the mindset that would shift in some of the problems that it would cause to as far as for U.S. interests, right? And so let's just go ahead and get right on into it, right? And so the objective of our policy toward Black Africa is to prevent social upheavals which could radically change the political situations throughout the area. The success or failure of our policies in the region depends on the solution, international and internal issues whose importance of the United States is on the increase. Right? And so as we get into it, this is 2A, U.S. interests in Black America, in Black Africa. A multiplicity of interests influence the U.S. attitude toward Black Africa. The most important of these interests can be summarized as follows. 1. Political. If Black African states assume attitudes hostile towards U.S. national interests, our policy toward the white regimes, which is a key element in our relationships with the Black states, may be subjected by the latter to great pressure for fundamental change. Thus, the West may face a real danger of being deprived of access to the enormous raw material resources of Southern Africa. Now, though this does say Southern Africa, let's make sure that we understand this is much bigger than just Southern Africa. Much bigger than just Southern Africa. Right? And this kind of gets in as we step away from, and as we, the earlier conversations that we were having was based on agapic energy, right? Agapic energy. And I just want you to kind of keep that in mind. as we think about and remind you, what was I telling you about agapic energy? Two things that you are going to need: love, sacrifice. Love and sacrifice. Right? And these two things combined will help you make the critical decisions that's necessary in order for us to cripple the system in a way to where we are now in control of not only our own raw material and resources, but our own destiny. Right? And so, like, let's just continue though. And so, if black African states assume attitudes hostile to the U.S. Interests, like it said, right? So let's keep reading. It said, thus, the West may face a real danger of being deprived of access to enormous raw material resources of Southern Africa, which are vital for what? Our defense needs, as well as losing control over the Cape Sea routes by which approximately 65% of the Middle Eastern oil is supplied to Western Europe. Moreover, such a development may bring about internal political difficulties by intensifying the activity of the black movement in the United States itself. It should also be borne in mind that black Africa is an integral part of a continent where tribal and regional discord, economic backwardness, inadequate infrastructures, drought, and famine are a constant feature of the scene. Why? Because that's all they want you to see. In conjunction with the artificial borders imposed by the former colonial powers, guerrilla warfare in Rhodesia, and widespread indignation against apartheid in South Africa, the above factors provide the communist states with ample opportunities for furthering their aims. This must necessarily rebound to the detriment of the U.S. political interests. So this also shows them there is this concern, and what we see is that based on this information, not only is the U.S. playing a role in disrupting what goes on in Africa, but some of these communist countries are also doing some of the same thing. China, Russia, arming for their own benefit, causing disruption for their own benefit, while maintaining a control on the raw material. That's just what's key. Raw material resources. This is big time. This is big time. Because what you'll notice is that the U.S. doesn't have any of this. Europe doesn't have any of this. And I'm going to tell you why. We'll just keep going. Moreover, such a development may bring about eternal political difficulties by intensifying the activity of the black movement in the United States itself. Let me go down. Let's deal with it. Economics. Black Africa is increasingly becoming an outlet for U.S. exports and investment. The mineral resources of the area continue to be of great value for the normal functioning of industry in the United States and allied countries. In 1977, the U.S. direct investments in Black Africa totaled about $1.8 billion, in exports $2.2 billion. New prospects of substantial profits would continue to develop in the countries concerned. The way of the West, and I'm going to tell you, this is serious. Walmart being able to just leave the damn lights on. McDonald's 24 hours a day. Every bag of Doritos. your candy. That all calls, you know what that all comes from? Raw materials, raw resources. You could say bye-bye to that life. And they're not going to be able to stop this. It can only be slowed down. Because it's only so long we play the fool. And this, the slick part about it is that, and this belongs to us also. These raw materials are also ours. Matter of fact, you can damn near include us in the raw materials that are stolen from Africa. You could throw us in that. If we talk about raw material stolen from Africa, we're on that list. We're on that list of what allows the West to function the way that it does. And when I say function, I mean industry, the structure, the industrialization of the West. This is not possible without, number one, Africa not having infrastructure, and number two, stealing the raw material from Africa. And the worst part about it is, they make us fight over the crumbs. They make us fight over the crumbs. Apart from the above mentioned factors adverse to the U.S. strategic interests, the nationalist liberation movement in Africa can act as a catalyst with far-reaching effects on the American black community by stimulating its organizational consolidation and by inducing radical actions. Such a result would be likely as Zaire went the way of Angola and Mozambique. An occurrence of the events of 1967 and 68 would do grievous harm to the U.S. prestige, especially in the view of the concern of the present administration with human rights issues. Moreover, the administration would have to take specific steps to stabilize the situation. Such steps might be misunderstood both inside and outside of the U.S. So in order to prevent such a trend and protect U.S. national security interests, it would appear essential to elaborate and carry out effective countermeasures. We're going to take a look at what happened in Zaire and Angola and Mozambique, by way of Angola and Mozambique. We're going to take a look at what they so scared of. But if you notice, this was a threat right here. This was telling you that they're going to take action. Notice what it said. But what they're trying to do is have to take action during a more liberal time period. See, they already knew we would be walking into this time period here today where the world, you can kind of say, is a little bit more liberal. It's a little bit more liberal. Blatant shit, you're kind of going to get the eye right now for that. And so what they were saying was, just notice, right? Whatever they had to do in 67 and 68, they saying they can't do that again, right? Without it being misunderstood. Ain't really no misunderstanding about what you finna do. And notice the words that they use: to stabilize the situation. If they had to stabilize this situation, that's if they let it get out of hand by the current trends. Guess what they saying that they would have to do? Stabilize the situation. And this stabilizing of the situation would be misunderstood by not only people of the U.S., but people of other countries. It'd be a blatant move to steal our shit. So, watch what they say. In order to prevent such a trend and protect U.S. national security interests, it would appear essential to elaborate and carry out effective countermeasures. Possibly of joint action by U.S. Black and African nationalist movement. This is called a threat. In elaborating U.S. policy toward Black Africa, due weight must be given in fact that there are 25 million American blacks whose roots are African and who consciously or subconsciously sympathize with African nationalism. The living conditions, and these are things that they were looking at, what they need to be working on in order to keep us from ever joining the struggle or combining the struggle with Africa. This is important. The living conditions of the black population should be also taken into account. What living conditions? We all right, ain't it? We done made it. What living conditions? Immense advances in the field are accompanied by a long-lasting high rate of unemployment, especially among the youth, and by poverty and dissatisfaction with government social welfare standards. These factors taken together may provide a basis for joint actions of a concrete nature by the African nationalist movement and the U.S. black community. Basically, actions would take the form of demonstrations and public protests, but the likelihood of violence cannot be excluded. There would also be attempts to coordinate their political activity both locally and in international organizations. Inside the United States, these actions could include protests, demonstrations against our policy towards South Africa, accompanied by demand for boycotting corporations and banks which maintain links with that country, attempts to establish a permanent black lobby in Congress, including activist, leftist radical groups, and black legislators, the reemergence of Pan-African ideals, resumption of protest marches, recalling the days of Martin Luther King, renewal of the extremist idea, national idea of establishing an African republic on American soil. Finally, leftist radical elements of the black community could resume extremist actions in the style of defunct Black Panther Party. This is all a huge threat. And notice, like I said, this is a threat to the infrastructure. When they talking about corporations, they're talking about the private sector. They're talking about the private sector. There is no capitalism without our raw materials. And they have to be the ones to capitalize on it in order for the system to function the way that it does. So the benefits of the West, the crumbs that we fight for, they really owe us more. This is just showing, and I'm gonna prove to you now that they owe you way more than that, and they willing to do anything, bro, not to have to give it to you. You're gonna be surprised what they willing to give you. We'll continue. Internationally, damage could be done to the United States by coordinated activity of African states designed to condemn U.S. policy towards South Africa. and initiate discussions on the U.S. racial issues at the United Nations, where the African representation constitutes a powerful bloc with about 1/3 of all votes. They don't want their ugly face brought to, and this is what's important. And this is why when we talk about why is it important, bro, to have, not to be trying to get in there and sit at the table. Get in there with them, but to have the seat at the table where you can actually discuss things. They don't want these things brought up, bro, on an international level. They violated Geneva Code. These things are punishable by tariffs, embargoes, and a multiplicity of other ways. Not only that, you're going to have to pay it. And see, now we negotiate if we're at the table. And this is important. They don't want this connection because notice what they say. Internationally, damage could be done to the United States by coordinated activity of African states designed to condemn U.S. policy towards Africa and initiate discussions of U.S. racial issues, aka how they treat niggas in America at the United Nations. Why they don't want to have that discussion? See, as long as you're up under their thumb, they don't never have to answer for you. They don't have to answer for you. But they have something to answer for, and they're afraid of it. Let's keep reading. A menace to the U.S. economic interest, thought not a critical one, could be posted by a boycott by black African states against American companies, which maintain contact with South Africa and Rhodesia. If the idea of economic assistance to black Americans shared by some African regimes could be realized by placing their orders in the United States mainly with companies owned by blacks, they could gain a limited influence on the U.S. black community. In the above context, we must envisage the possibility, however remote, that black Americans interested in African affairs may refocus their attention on the Arab-Israeli conflict, taking into account the African descent of American blacks. It is reasonably to anticipate that their sympathies would lie with the Arabs, who are closer to them in spirit and in some cases related to them by blood. What I don't know about that. Black involvement in lobbying to support the Arabs may lead to serious dissension between American black and Jews. We hear some Zionism in here. The likelihood of extremist actions by either side is negligible, but the discord may bring about tension in the eternal political climate of the United States. Political options. In context of long-term strategy, the United States cannot afford a radical change in the fundamentals of its African policy, which is designed for maximum protection of national security. Which is what? Their pockets. Their dominance over the world. Their dominance over you. Us. We. And shout out to Yaman, because this is where Ubuntu plays a huge role. I am because we are. This is a fundamental principle that they really want to break us away from. Right? In the present case, emphasis is laid on the importance of Black Africa for the U.S. political and economic and military interests. All of the fancy weapons, there's no more of that. You need the raw materials from Africa to design your weapons, your bombs, and all of the other craziness that you have. You need those raw materials, bro. So your advantage, you don't have the advantage that you have. You have to see it as heads up. And that I don't think you really want to do. In weighing the range of U.S. interests in Black Africa, basic recommendations arranged without intent to imply priority are: 1. Specific steps should be taken with the help of appropriate government agencies to inhibit coordinated activity of the Black movement in the United States. 2. The clandestine operations should be launched by the CIA to generate mistrust and hostility in American and world opinion against joint activity of the two forces. Propaganda against both of us. And to cause division among Black African radical national groups and their leaders. U.S. embassies to Black African countries, especially interested in Southern Africa, must be highly circumspect in view of the activity of certain political circles and influential individuals opposing the objectives and methods of the U.S. policy towards South Africa. It must be kept in mind that the failure of the U.S. strategy in South Africa would adversely affect American standing throughout the world. In addition, this would mean a significant diminution of U.S. influence in Africa and the emergence of new difficulties in our internal situation due to the worsening economic prospects. Saying shit won't function the same here or in the West in general. The FBI should mount surveillance operations against Black African representatives and collect sensitive information on those, especially at the UN, who oppose U.S. policy towards South Africa. The information should include facts on their links with the leaders of the Black movement in the United States, thus making it possible at least partial neutralization of the adverse effects of their activity. Trends in the American Black movement. Now, these are some of the trends that we are currently in right now. Most of them we are already in. And for the most part, what you're going to find out is that they like the direction the Black movement has been going. This should tell you we've been going the wrong damn way. Watch this. So, in connection with our African policy, it is highly important to evaluate correctly the present state of the Black movement in the United States and basing ourselves on all available information to try to devise a course for its future development. Such an approach is strongly suggested by our perception of the fact that the American Blacks form a single ethnic group potentially capable of causing extreme instability in our strategy towards South Africa. This may lead to the critical differences between the United States and Black Africa in particular. It would also encourage the Soviet Union to step up its interference in the region. Notice it didn't say to bring interference. It said to step up its interference, meaning that the Soviet Union is already over there causing issues. for their own benefits. Finally, it would pose a serious threat to the delicate structure of race relations within the United States. All the above considerations give rise to concern for future security of the United States. Since the mid-1960s, when legislation on the human rights was passed and Martin Luther King murdered, federal and local measures to improve black welfare have been taken, as a result of which the U.S. black movement has undergone considerable changes. Principal changes are as follows. So this is just to let you know they keep up with us. These are the principal changes that they have noticed in our movement. Social and economic issues have supplanted political aims as the main preoccupations of the movement, and actions formerly planned on a nationwide scale are now being organized locally. We're talking about finances too goddamn much. That's what they're trying to tell you. And this is what I be meaning. We're not going to economic our way out of this situation. It only digs us into a further hole. And I'm going to show you how it digs us into a further hole as we go further down. We're not going to economic our way out of this. Stop it. Just stop it. They like the fact that that's all we talk about now. And I'm going to show you that. This whole time period, focusing on our goddamn credit, me and the stocks, all of this shit is a distraction, bro. A distraction to keep you fattened up. Let's keep reading. Fragmentation and a lack of organizational unity within the movement. Sharp social stratification of the black population and lack of policy options which could reunite them. Was for the one of a national leader of standing comparable to Martin Luther King. So this is also a weakness. So these are 4 weaknesses that we see in our movement today that we need to reevaluate. 1, we always talking about money. Get money. Economics. Black businesses. No. Closing the wealth gap. That's been our focus. Closing the wealth gap. How we gonna close the wealth gap? We gotta close the wealth gap. That's what they want you to talk about. This is doing what? Causing fragmentation. And also the want of a national leader of standing comparable to Martin Luther King. That's hurting us. Let's continue. The range of policy options. The concern for the future security of the United States makes necessary the range of policy options. A range without intent imply priority they are. Excuse me, I read that horrible. A range without intent imply priority they are. A. To enlarge programs within the framework of the present budget for the improvement of the social and economic welfare of American blacks in order to ensure continuing development of present trends in the black movement. Talking about economics all the damn time. 2. B. This is B. To elaborate and bring into effect a special program designed to perpetuate division in the black movement and neutralize the most active groups of the leftist radical organizations, representing different social strata of the black community. This is to encourage division in black circles. We know who this is. We know who this is. Remember Farrakhan with the tribe of Shabazz? Don't you want your hair to match your eyebrows? We not African. The Israelites out there on the corner claiming that they ain't African. Now you got the Aboriginals coming in. They ain't African. That was the one thing we had established. And today, we can't even fucking figure. Two things we don't know. We don't know that we black, and we don't even know that we African. Two issues that we are coming into the gate off of. And notice, if any group approached you by first telling you you were not black, they are working with Memorandum 46. If any groups came to you telling you that you are not African, they are with Memorandum 46. Excuse me, Memorandum 46. Notice the split. We're not black, we're Moors. We ain't African. What's the name of who named Africa Africa? Pay attention to the arguments that we hear. These groups don't come out of nowhere. Memorandum 46. To confuse you. Let's keep going. To preserve the present climate which inhibits the emergence from within the black leadership of a person capable of exerting nationwide appeal. So, though this is hurting us, waiting on one like Martin Luther King, at the same time, they like that. They don't want nobody that comes along with national appeal. Because believe me, the next one won't just have national appeal. It'll be global. It'll be international. See, this is deep. To work out and realize preventative operations in order to impede durable ties between U.S. black organizations and radical groups in Africa states. Why are they working so hard to keep us from just rebuilding a relationship with our African brothers? Why? Their very lives depend on it. Their very lives depend on it. E. To support actions designed to sharpen social stratification in the black community, which would lead to the widening and perpetuation of the gap between successful educated blacks and the poor, giving rise to growing antagonism between different black groups and a weakening of the movement as a whole. F. To facilitate the greatest possible expansion of black businesses. So, as a matter of fact, let me go back up, because this is key. To support actions designed to sharpen social stratification in the black community, which would lead to the widening and perpetuation of the gap between successful, educated blacks and the poor, giving rise to growing antagonism between different black groups and a weakening of the movement as a whole. That's the nigga that got his credit together, and he don't understand why you ain't got your credit together. The nigga want to talk about getting your goddamn credit. Getting an LLC. I'm not saying that all of that is bad, but I'm telling you, this is a part of the action that is being taken to stifle the movement. So we obviously doing something wrong. Now everything is fix your credit. And notice, these capitalist niggas is causing division in the movement. They might damn near the same exact division as the niggas that's coming in up here on B talking about they ain't black. But still coming in black circles. They ain't African. But they're in African circles. Now niggas is capitalists. It only gets worse. And what do these people become? They are antagonizers of the movement. Weakening the movement as a whole. Anytime you hear a nigga tell you he a capitalist, you better run the other fucking way. I'm telling you. He is an antagonist of the movement as a whole. That's his fucking purpose. Stop playing. And niggas think they just gonna keep playing these games. I'm not black. Black is a color. I'm not African. There ain't no country named Africa. I'm a capitalist. Wake up. Notice the game that's being played. Agents of Memorandum 46. Consciously or subconsciously. That's what they are. Just like it said, 25 million blacks sympathize with African nationality in the movement, subconsciously or consciously. These different groups that we got telling you, you ain't black. And even the groups that tell you that there ain't no color. That's another one that gets you. That was the one that was here before these groups. Remember, there's no free nor bond, no Jew, no Greek in Christ. That mean there ain't no black in Christ either, is it? Your ass ain't black either, is you? You're in Christ. Which is keeping you from sympathizing with the issues of not only black people here in America, but black people on the soil of Africa. Get out of these distractions, man. These things are all confusing. They get to say that colorblind doctrine. You know why they get to do the colorblind doctrine? Because right now they hold all of the fucking cards. Yeah, I'm colorblind now. I bet. But y'all want to play those games. Y'all want to play those games. Let's keep going. Watch this. F. To facilitate the greatest possible expansion of black businesses by granting government contracts and loans with favorable terms to black businessmen. They want to create black businessmen and black businesses and give black people favorable loans. Ain't that what's going on today? Every time I'm watching the NBA basketball game on League Pass, guess what? They are promoting black businesses. The league. promoting black businesses? Why are they promoting black businesses? Watch this. G, to take every possible means through the AFL/CIO leaders to counteract the increasing influence of black labor organizations, which function in all major unions, and in particular, the National Coalition of Black Trade Union and its leadership, including the creation of a real preference for adverse and hostile reaction among white trade unionists to demand for improvement of social and economic welfare of the blacks. So notice today, everything in the government today, the conversation is about how much they sympathize with you in the black struggle and how much of a hole they put black people in and how bad they want to get us out. Don't they say they want to give us government grants? Huh? Aren't they improving the social and economic welfare of blacks right now? Ain't that what HR 40 is for? Aren't they decriminalizing weed and letting black people out who are locked up for weed all of a sudden? Why? Why? It's a colorblind society now, right? Yeah. And see, they want to dictate, though, Terry, how they give us reparations. And so what HR 40 allows them to do when we talk about reparations is invest in their own communities that they've built and that we don't own. We just live there. Nigga, we just pay rent. We just pay rent. I'm going to go into something real quick. I'm definitely going to go into something. Peace, Terry. Power to the Dark Sun family. Appreciate you, Shade Love. Aaron C. Wright in the building. What's good with you, God? Let's see something, man. Let me see something. Because all of this is important, man. Right? All of this is important. Let's go ahead and go into it. And like I said, the conversation today is all about finance and credit scores and black economics, black empowerment through black economics, closing the wealth gap, all of these things. All of these things. Let me see if this is it. I'm not going to play all of this. Let me see. Looking for a part. Yeah, here we go. Let me show you this anti-African shit. Because I'm gonna tell you why it's always anti-African. The origins of all of these religions take us outside of Africa. That's the key. And they always come to black people with that crap. That's the worst and most satanic part about it. And this is witchcraft at its finest. Let's just go ahead and go into this real quick. I'm gonna play y'all a quick little clip. Alright. Alright. Let's just go ahead.
Shaka Zulu. And I'm curious to know, how did our people come to dress the way that they did, barely wearing any clothes, and the women not covering their breasts? Well, 50,000 years ago, one of our scientists by the name of Shabazz disagreed with the major scientists. He wanted to take his family down into the jungle of East Asia, as it was called, it's called Africa now, to make a people close to nature. The other scientists disagreed with him, and he rebelled against.
Let's start right there. Notice, Africa is desolate until this Shabazz character brings us into there. To be one with nature. So notice how this story is already starting off wrong. Number one, you're already starting out with this disconnection between humans and nature. That's foul number one.
Them. So he did do just that. He took his family, and he was banished from the civilized center.
And another thing, to call Africa East Asia, bro, these guys got to stop with that. Africa is not East Asia, nor did we start out no Asia. Like it gets ridiculous. And this is all about self-hate of your hair, self-hate of your skin, self-hate of being African, self-hate of being black. And this is how they build their doctrines and then attack us. And not only does this attack us, this attacks the movement as a whole, causing division. Keep going.
Centers of our world, and he went down into the jungle of East Asia, where he absolutely made a people to conquer the jungle life. Before that, we didn't have kinky hair. We didn't.
And notice this nigga in videos using this as an example. And see, this is, I just want you to know, this is what we fear. This is what we have fear of. This is the disrespect. We want no connection to this person. And that's what I mean by the subconscious hate for your skin and the subconscious hate for your hair. To where it's always has to be justified why it's that way. You don't have to justify why you black. We don't need no justification. And this is where the separations in the group always starts. With the hair and the skin tone. And then they try to make some sort of equivalence between that and then their intelligence. Nigga, we got mamas that look like this. And to pretend like we don't, that's sick, bro. When you close your eyes and you picture your mama and you don't picture somebody that looks like this and still see them as beautiful, bro, that's your problem. Stop closing your eyes trying to envision Rapunzel as your mama. We don't want to believe that this is who came over here in chains. And that's sick, bro.
Didn't have the features that we presently have. The tribe of Shabazz is black, all right enough, but you have black people all over this earth who are dark as us and darker than we, but their noses are a lot different, the lips different, the hair different, and they all look down on the tribe of Shabazz. We are rejected and despised not only by white people, but we have been rejected and despised by the other dark people of the planet. 50,000 years we were without a guide. God never sent us a prophet in 50,000 years. Not that tribe that rebelled. And I got angry one day when I was reading the history like that.
So we're the tribe. The reason why I'm hearing all of this, we are the tribe that rebelled. This what we teaching black people? Your skin is the way it is, brother, and your hair is because you are the tribe that rebelled. And this is the disconnect. This is to tell you that, what are they saying? You look the way you look because God is mad at you. You wouldn't look that way if God wasn't mad at you.
And I wrote the messenger a letter.
And another thing, when the hell did we rebel? And we all know it was these stinking Asiatics that brought their ass from the mountains with war. Eating bloody raw meat and all of that. But we rebelled. We rebelled. And this is what I be talking about. So I just want y'all to pay attention. This story takes place in Asia. And now they're going into East Asia, which is what he is claiming was the original name of Africa, to create a new people to conquer the jungle who have nappy hair and dark skin and wide noses and thick lips. All of this is because we rebelled. Let's go back to National Security Memorandum one more time. Look at what they're doing. Special programs designed to perpetuate division in the black movement and neutralize the most active groups of leftist radical organizations representing different social strata of the black community to encourage division in black circles. Let's just keep going.
I said, I don't want nothing to do with these scientists. They sending prophets to this devil and left us down in this jungle for 50,000 years and then send us nobody.
Look at that. That's supposed to be an example of them waiting on God for a message. This is the disrespect. They're trying to show this in a negative light. But when we start going in on the different Abrahamic religions, we're in the wrong. When they've been allowed to spill anti-African rhetoric long enough, I don't care about your feelings. I'm going to tell you straight up. Nobody cared about our feelings. Nobody ever cared about our temples. Nobody ever cared about the way we prayed. Nobody cared about the way we worship. Nobody cared about how we honored our ancestors. All they did was disrespect, mock, laugh. That's it. Disrespect, mock, and laugh.
How are they beneficent and merciful? You know? So when I got to the table, I asked the messenger, did he receive my letter? He said, yes, and don't you ever send another one like that through my secretaries. You put a letter like that directly in my hand. And then he proceeded to teach me. He said, when you rebel against God, he's not duty bound to send you nobody to bring you back. He does that at his discretion when he gets ready. Since he didn't send you out there, you rebelled and went out, then whenever he pleases to bring you back, that's up to him. I have been in African societies, this is the truth, where the women not only go bare-breasted, but their whole
and listen to this, to his sick ass mind. Who the hell are looking at the women in that manner? That's your sick ass mind. Like, and this is what I be trying to say, bro. This is the very problem with these different Abrahamic nutcases. They try to put their lustful, sick, manipulative minds onto you. Create this distrust and this lust for some shit you ain't even paying attention to. What the hell do you mean the women is walking around with their Yeah. Who are they covering up for, sir? You? Why? You shouldn't even be looking. Your mind is tainted. Don't try to go to the mind of the peer, bro, and try to rub off on them and infect their community. You're the one that's tainted. And then trying to show these people as some type of excuse. This is a tribe in Tanzania, I believe. Like, just pay attention. That's a sick ass mind, bro. You showing the first thing you do is go, why are they titties out? What the hell you mean? They probably looking at you like, nigga, what the hell you covering up for? But I just like the disrespect, bro. Notice what he's trying to make a claim. That they were clothed in Asia. And when they got to Africa, we was just running around naked, waiting on God to talk to us. Lost. Yeah, you have to have that story. Let's continue, man.
Posterior is out. And they walk like that in certain societies. But regardless to that, in the African society, it's not like you. You see a woman like that, you go off. Totally. Not you, we. But when you see that every day, you're not moved like that by a woman's breast. They breastfeed right out in the public. It's no big thing. You walk, you see a sister standing there, breast right in the baby's mouth. What? You don't see people, ooh, look at that. But in this context, you see a woman do that, it would draw a crowd. And the bare-breasted ballet Afrikaans, it always packs the place. But it wouldn't draw no crowd in Africa, because we see that all the time. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the mark of a civilized person is we teach them first to put on clothing to cover those parts of their bodies that should be covered. And so I hope I answered your question. they became savage. And a savage is a person that has lost the knowledge of self and is living the life of a beast. You know, the beasts don't cover up their nudist parts. Right?
Notice this. The disrespect. Now, don't that sound like a damn European? With savages? They're not civilized. They're not civilized. Mr. Farrakhan, who the hell have they invaded? Can you name the country, sir? Who are the Maasai people? Who have they invaded? Where did they invade? And it's a disrespect of culture, the way they live, the simple life, all of that. Now you're dumb, and this is why I be talking about stupidity. You just got through saying that they don't cover up, bro, because they're above that. You're gonna try to put them into a lower state because you're in a lower state. You're in a lower state. The society you're creating is a lower state society to the point where women have to cover up, and that don't even save them in this society. That don't even save them. Woman was fully dressed, passed out on the park bench, and he raped her. Fully dressed. So to play the games that these things have to do with clothes, they don't. Civilized don't have nothing to do with clothes. What's uncivilized is showing up in somebody else's shit, trying to rearrange politics. That's uncivilized. You wouldn't do that nowhere else. The mark of a civilized. And what's even worse is that this is a lie. This is a fictitious tribe. He's telling a whole fictitious... There was no tribe of Shabazz. So right now, we are just downing Africans for the hell of it. For his God. In African culture. And see, that's going to be the difference. See, these people, they not going to fire back at you when they don't know that they popping up on everybody's screens as some sort of fucking joke. They can't fire back at you. I can. I take this personal. All of them. From Africans with the plates in their lips. All of that. And that's why I had to get off of that, that Kemetic Egyptian shit. I had to get away from that. Because it was glorifying, and there wasn't enough love being put on these people right here. Nobody wanted to be these Africans. We just all want to talk about Egypt, the pyramids, Egypt, the pyramids. Fuck Egypt. You don't get no pyramids without these people. I take this personal. These is my folks. These is my folks. And I'm proud of them. Their hair and everything. See, and that's what I be saying. They're easy targets because they never gonna step outside of their society to come and critique yours. So that makes them easy targets. They're never gonna come and proselytize their God to you. So that makes them easy targets. But no. I'm not going for that. I'm the wrong one. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. 2,000 years of disrespect. I'm not playing this. I don't care if you Farrakhan, whoever the hell you are. If you disrespecting Africans, trying to make a mockery out of African culture, a mockery of the African people, we gonna have issues. We gonna have issues. You're not gonna like what I have to say about the Abrahamics. That's simple and plain. And this is what's worse, is that these Abrahamics were the ones who come in naked. They the ones who ain't wearing no damn clothes. It was the Asiatics. So this gets ridiculous, bro. We have to clothe them, show them how to cook food. They eating raw, bloody food. They weren't burying their dead. But yet these people weren't civilized. They buried their dead. They cook their food. They keep peace. That's civilized. Let's continue, man. Watch what this clown says.
Here in the Gambia, on the island of Jufre, the birthplace of Kunta Kinte, the delegation learned of a building project commissioned by the late Alex Haley, who found his roots here. Plans for the proposed mosque were scrapped because money...
I gotta stop it right there real quick. Kunta Kinte was not a real person. I don't know why I have to keep doing this, man. This was a character from a European movie. It's a character in the movie with a son named Chicken George. How the hell do you trace that? Where do we start? Like, and this is what I be saying. It's based on, the movie is based on a real tribe. It's based around, there's a Kinte tribe that does exist. It's true. But Kunta Kinte from the movie Roots, who had a son named Chicken George, did not exist. Damn. Like, I don't know where this is coming. Lately, this is just popping up lately. I don't know why we have to keep doing this. He didn't exist.
These earmarked by Haley for the project never reached their intended destination.
We will build this, the Nation of Islam will build this with the help of our people. And we don't want a long time. You know, we want to, I will give him some money before I leave. I'll tell the president today, and we will work through the government to make sure that this gets done. Yes, sir. And it will be a monument to Alex Haley. All of this area will be the area where the mosque and school will be built, and it will be built in the name of Alex Haley and his family to show gratitude to Allah for his life and his work.
Anyway, so I don't know why you would be in Africa teaching that. And like, this is what I be talking about. So basically, you're in Africa teaching Africans self-hate. That was just an example, man. I just wanted to give y'all an example when we talk about National Memorandum 46. National Memorandum 46. Remember that. That is National Security Council Memorandum 46. That is important to keep in mind. We need to understand these type of things that developed amongst each other so we understand how we strategize and how we move forward. It's important. It's important. When the enemy puts their plan on the table, you gotta read it. You gotta read it. And so, I didn't even finish, matter of fact. And so let's finish this out. And so H is to support the nomination at federal and local levels of loyal black public figures to the elective offices, to government agencies, and the court. This would promote the achievement of a twofold purpose. First, it would be easier to control the activity, of loyal black representatives within the institution. Second, the idea of an independent black political party, now under discussion within black leadership circles, would soon lose all support. The whole point of this, the credit, giving you black businesses, giving you positions in government, giving you positions in certain positions in power, all of these are moves so that you never take your own destiny into your own hands. I really I want that to sink in with you guys. I really, really want that to sink in. The whole purpose is so that you don't create your own state. You don't want your own. They don't want you to want your own. They don't want you to do for self. They want to keep you on the nipple. They want to keep you on the nipple. So, just be watching out. This was just an eye-opener for you. So watch what you get ready to see in the news. How much stuff they getting ready to give you. Just so they don't have to give you it all. It's like record companies. You sign the deal, and they try to distract you with everything. Girls, food, houses, all of that to keep you from asking for your own shit. They don't want you to have two things: your money and your rights or royalties. So they distract you with the Ferrari. Let's get them the Ferrari. The Ferrari come with what Gucci say, and it came with a blending. It come with a couple. It's packed with girls in the Ferrari. They ain't got you a Ferrari full of girls. The weed already in there. You ain't have to pay for none of that. And you finna pull up at a house that they gave you after they just fed you at the nice restaurant. All of this is so that you don't ask for two things: your royalty. They trying to keep you distracted from your royalties, which is your likeness, and your money. What they owe you. And that's why it's important that they create debt on you. So when it is time to pay you back, well, you got a debt to pay off. I'm probably going to do a next show. And I'll probably just show how HR 40 ties into this. HR 40 and in general. So watch what they're doing. They are specifically attacking and antagonizing the black movement. How? How are they doing it? First, bringing groups in that tell you you're not black. Second, groups that also end up with you're not African. Third, getting the movement focused on economics, closing the racial wealth gap. We gotta close the racial wealth gap. How do we close the racial wealth gap? Don't forget this. This is all a part of the game. These conversations that we have don't come out of nowhere. Somebody is implementing these conversations into our YouTube circles, and we are perpetuating the plan to keep us separate from Africans. Why? Because it keeps us from wanting our own. See, as long as you here together with them, they can always just do what's best for the Americans. But the minute that you are separate from that, they now have to do what's right by you. You can't lump a black nation stay in with the Mexicans and this ain't no disrespect, with the LGBTQ and with the Asian community and other minority, what they call it, you can't put us just in the minority group with white women and gay white men. No. You have to deal with us adequately. And as we can see, they are willing to give you anything except for your own shit. Anything. All of these things are distractions. All of these things are distractions. Why? To keep the system going in the direction that the system has been going in. They like the movement. They told you. They like the trend right now. The current trend. The current trend of when we talk about people. All right. Drop this playlist for y'all real quick in this chat. And so, let me drop that. Drop this real quick. It's a playlist. That's how you get up with all my songs. I definitely do have. I got the new Kevin Samuels. This is out. The new Kevin Samuels. This is out. You need to go check that out. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. If you ain't already subscribed to my music channel, it's Outdabluu 40. I need to go ahead and subscribe to that, man. Get on with the Outdabluu 40. Get y'all some different kind of music. You know what I mean? You can still be in your bag, you'll be in your vibe, but it's different. You know what I mean? And so I definitely do want y'all to do that. Like I said, we'll be getting into we'll be breaking further down Memorandum 46. Hopefully I can get Nyame on here, probably Domo, probably get the DMT in the building, and yeah, we'll discuss this. We'll see how it ties in to some of the anti-black, anti-African rhetoric that we hear. Also, the new clean your credit score up. We gonna economic our way out of our current situation, close the wealth gap conversation. So we definitely gonna be discussing all of that, showing how these different things are distractions, right, and are putting a wrench into the black movement as a whole. And yeah, we need to change the trajectory of the black movement, and that's something that we definitely gonna be going into here. Like I said, man, I want to appreciate everybody. I'm talking about everybody that showed up tonight. Y'all already know what my motto is, right? If you are listening to this together, we are Babel. Let's build. And I want to give a special power to the dark side and a peace for everybody that showed up. All of the love, all of that. I truly appreciate it. With that being said, y'all know how we finna roll out, man. Counting strikes and still letting the blossom slow. Still learning from the lessons I ain't letting go. I'm just confessing my depression, I need medical. I wanna get it till it turns into a vegetable. Don't wanna think about all this shit that I'm expressing on. And it ain't helping, it ain't healthy being left alone. And it's time to be ain't going when it's bumping on. And I've been writing all my wrongs for the extension. Let me tell you about the chains and mental bondage. Swear to God to leave a pain in my stomach. Hey. Wild boys die young. Wild boys die young. At the bottom of a bottle for a message. No, I don't need no suggestions. You only get one first impression. You only get one. You only get one. Fell asleep on the ground, just well wishing. Woke up in the system, I done fell victim. Had a vision of my spirit breaking hell with him. Sent the prayer from the angels that it fell with him. Hard hoes with me, better stand to your left. School of hard knocks and we ain't play with no breath. All I found better save with your chest. You had Kevin Hart, you been playing in your dress. Something wrong with him. Why you always seem to stay up in some mess? You ain't the son of a king, boy, you Menelik. I was born in the trenches, bitch, I've been a vet. Stop trading like Gordon, no Benedict. Strong garment when it's storming for the benefit. On karma, I'ma get what I'm finna get. Finish the mission with a hole in my Michelin. At the bottom of a bottle for a message. No, I don't need no suggestions. You only get one first impression. You only get one. You only get one.
Depot on the beat.
I couldn't believe it, even when out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood, nigga, we fighting demons. Been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now you get to watch me get it up out of the mud. I couldn't believe it, even when I was out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood, nigga, we fighting demons. I've been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now y'all get to watch me get it up out of the mud.
Now y'all get to see me without a mug. Everything that I do gon' be out of love. And I'm tired of these trials and these tribulations. And I'm sick of my name always getting drugged. But no, I ain't budge. All of this money and you not pursuing it. All of this time you don't know what to do with it. Counterproductive and counterintuitive. Why you be acting like you already new to it? Straight from the gutter, boy, we getting sewer. As soon as we get it, you know we gon' move it quick. All of this money I made from the block. Get out the game and invest it in stock. Bought me a whip, get the rest of it up. When you saving on stuff, man, it messes them up. We gon' be fine, but we stay on our grind. All of my niggas is stepping it up, and they foot on our neck and no letting it up. We love with the playing field, even the battle. My son is a scientist, he's splitting atoms. Need us more geniuses, I know we got them. I know it's in us, I'm bringing it out. I know ain't perfect, I'm making them out of on Capitol Hill, and I'm bringing them houses. The path that I'm on should nobody follow.
I couldn't believe it, even when out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood, nigga, we fighting demons. Been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now you get to watch me get it up out of the mud. I couldn't believe it, even when I was out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood, nigga, we fighting demons. I've been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now y'all get to watch me get it up out of the mud.
We fought hard on this road this longer. Fighting each other won't make us no stronger. Honey, this nigga's been fighting this hunger. I'm at my worst and ain't getting no wronger. No change of silence, I'm making. I flip a chair or a table or two. They won't believe what I'm able to do. I'm making these moves, but this a new movement. My dog at the gate and all praises Anubis. I'm getting too lit in my boat pack with doobies. On my way up and I'm shot for the moon and it made me a star. Got so much drive I can make it tomorrow. So can't promise the day that I make it tomorrow. Every time that we make is to pay what we borrow.